New at noon, Little Rock police are investigating after a shooting leaves 2 people with injuries early this morning. It happened near Pleasant Forest Cove in West Little Rock. The victim's injuries are not considered to be life-threatening. Officers have multiple people in custody as potential suspects. We'll continue to bring the latest details on this developing story as they become available. As Americans celebrate this July 4th weekend, there are concerns that low vaccination rates in some parts of the country could lead to new outbreaks of COVID-19. Only 18 states have fully vaccinated more than half of their population. And with the more contagious Delta variant on the rise, there are fears that many people remain vulnerable. CBS's David Begnaud visited Arkansas to learn more about the disappointing vaccination rate here.
It's the lunch rush hour at Trio's restaurant in Little Rock. Hello, ladies. Hi. We went to every single table and asked the same question. Have you been vaccinated?
Absolutely. Yes.
Everybody's an absolutely.
Absolutely. Despite Arkansas's reputation.
Look, that reputation isn't undeserved. Only 34.3% of Arkansas's population is fully vaccinated. Are you vaccinated?
I am.
And that's why Trio's co-owner, Cappy Peck, was shocked when she found out that every single person in the restaurant was vaccinated, except for one person.
Before we started this, I thought, I bet at least 80% of my customers are vaccinated. I was wrong.
But Arkansas's Governor Asa Hutchinson says outside of Little Rock is where it's a different story.
Well, certainly the rural areas of our state, we have more resistance, there's less vaccine acceptance.
Pulaski County, which includes Little Rock, has fully vaccinated about 40% of its residents. But in some of the state's rural counties, that number plummets to less than 25%. And COVID hospitalizations are climbing, up nearly 54% in just the last 2 weeks. And that is due in large part to the so-called Delta variant, which the governor says is spreading fast here.
Over 98% of the hospitalized patients have not been vaccinated. But as you see those cases going up and the risk increasing, then all of a sudden the vaccinations increase.
So you're saying as hospitalizations rise here in Arkansas, you're starting to see more people get vaccinated?
That's true. And so
Driven by what, fear?
Well, I think it's driven by risk, that they see the risk increasing and say, we've better go ahead and get vaccinated.
And right now, the demand for vaccines is up. On Wednesday, Arkansas recorded more than 10,000 shots in a single day. And that is the most they've seen since May. David Begnaud, CBS News, Arkansas.
Now, for some, COVID restrictions relaxed a bit once the vaccine was widely available. But the pandemic clearly never stopped. Stores, restaurants, places of worship are having to decide what guidelines to relax and which to keep. After worshiping online for more than a year, Temple Benai is happy to have some of the congregation back in person. But that doesn't mean they've let their guard down. The church still has a number of restrictions in place, including keeping the mask on.
We require everybody to be vaccinated, everybody to let us know they're coming, and so we have a list for contact tracing if, God forbid, that's necessary. Why? Because of the large percentage of Arkansans who have decided not to be vaccinated.
Rabbi Barry Block hopes to return to normal soon, but until the cases go down and more people are immunized, he says the guidelines, they're staying. We're continuing to follow the deadly shooting of a teenager in Lonoke County last week. Right now, the deputy who fired the shots is out of a job. Former Deputy Michael Davis has been fired by the sheriff's office after it was revealed he did not turn his body camera on until after the incident. Davis shot and killed 17-year-old Hunter Britton last Wednesday during a traffic stop. Calls have been growing to release the body cam footage of the shooting. But now, as we've learned, it doesn't exist.
Our policy says the deputy must activate the camera before encountering any member of the public while taking official action and certainly as part of any traffic stop.
Sheriff Staley also confirms the department does not have dash cams on its patrol cars. The case is still in the hands of the Arkansas State Police. We have the sheriff's full video on thv-at-noon.com. A day after search and rescue efforts were temporarily halted at the collapsed condo building in Surfside, Florida, there's a new potential issue that could hamper search efforts: a tropical storm entering the Caribbean. Search and rescue efforts resumed Thursday night after a 15-hour standstill over safety concerns that the whole building could come down. Officials in Miami-Dade County said they are planning for a likely demolition of the remaining building. Steve Rosenthal, who met with President Biden yesterday, had lived in the condo for 20 years before it collapsed.
We lost everything. When he was finished, he literally went to every table, talked to every person, and as long as you were talking, he was listening. It was amazing.
So far have been confirmed dead in that collapse, another 128 unaccounted for. The economy continues to open up, and that helped more Americans find work, but many businesses remain short-staffed. Skylar Henry reports from the White House.
It's a sign of the times. Businesses nationwide need employees, including the Atlanta airport, which held a job fair this week.
I love busy situations.
Mika Wilson applied at Delta Sky Club, which is offering a sign-on bonus. She got a job on the spot.
So at this point, we'd like to make you an offer for the job. Are you willing to accept? Sure! Yay!
The U.S. economy added a better-than-expected 850,000 jobs in June. The unemployment rate ticked up slightly from 5.8 to 5.9%, a sign more people are once again looking for work.
We have made a ton of progress since last spring, when unemployment was nearly 15%.
President Biden says the economy is improving.
The strength of our recovery is helping us flip the script. Instead of workers competing with each other for jobs that are scarce, employers are competing with each other to attract workers.
As job creation goes up, the number of Americans filing initial unemployment claims is down to a pandemic low, but worker shortages continue. Despite adding nearly 200,000 jobs last month, the bar and restaurant industry is short-staffed.
Come on, work, that we need people.
Los Angeles restaurant owner Dario Vullo is offering higher wages, including $20 an hour for dishwashers.
I mean, $20 an hour, is a lot of money. Still, there is nothing.
That may be changing. More than 24 states have or will soon stop distributing the extra $300 federal unemployment benefit. It's believed that could cause many Americans to re-enter the workforce. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Even though the overall jobless rate is 5.9%, the black unemployment rate remains higher at 9.2%.